Okay, let's see what this puzzle has in store for us. Computer's move is bishop taking pawn. And so my guess is the computer's thinking of bringing in more pieces and getting a good attack going on the king. So we need to come up with something good. Well, you need to come up with something good in order to keep this from being a disaster.
Let the bodies hit the...
So I'm going to pause the puzzle for a few seconds and give you a chance to figure it out, and then let's see what it is on the other side. Okay, hopefully you figured it out, and what I like to do is take my best piece and attack the king. First thing that I see is that the king's got his 3 royal bodyguard pawns right in front of him. And that leaves him with a lot of protection in the front, but from the side he's very vulnerable, and he's got nothing to keep us from going behind the pawns and checking the king. And all these other things out here in the puzzle are really just there to take your mind off of the goal, which is to attack the king. And these guys look pretty dangerous, and so they draw your attention. And so you got to be kind of careful not to be distracted by these guys. We also have this attack with the bishop, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. It'll take that pawn, but after the king takes back, we don't really have a big follow-up. What we need to do is a lot more forcing. What it is taking this rook, running it up to the back, checking the king. Once we check the king, he's got 3 ways out of it. And the first is to kill the piece that's doing the checking. And if the rook is standing here, you can see that none of the pieces he has is able to kill it on the spot. So that's the first way of getting out of the check. Second way is to put a piece between the rook and his king, and none of his pieces can get there in one move. Therefore, the king needs to run in order to keep from being checkmated. And if we run the rook up here, we'll have checked the king, so he'll be under check, and since he doesn't have any other option, he needs to run. He can't run here because that's still check. Also, a suicide attack on our rook doesn't work. He doesn't get there. He only gets 1 step, but he needs to have 2 steps in order to get us, and therefore he's under attack and checked. Moving this way, he's not allowed to do that, and he's not allowed to step on his own pieces. That's blood all around. Checkmate. So let's double check to see if that's the right answer to this puzzle, but I'm hoping it is. Otherwise, I missed something, and you did too because you were following along. So I'm going to let go of this, and we should get a puzzle correct, and that also should end the puzzle. So let's see if it does. All right, it did. So that's the answer to that puzzle. It's a classic back rank checkmate. And let's take a look at that puzzle and see how people did on it. All right, its puzzle rating is 244. It's not too high, but only 83% of the people got it right. So it's definitely a puzzle that gets people distracted by this very aggressive set of 3 stooges coming after you.
More speed, more speed.
I got it wide open.
Well, open it wider.
I can't find the clutch. Oh!
But none of them are hurting you currently. And in fact, none of them can really hurt you on their next move either. But that doesn't keep people from looking at targets. Target fixation, maybe. This bishop coming in, this rook, this horse, very distracting, and it does fool almost 20% of the people. And so I'll see you on the next puzzle.